Alright, my loves, I am back. I promised you guys I would show you how I'm going to prepare this marriage candle. And I'm going to go over all of the herbs and oils that I'm going to use and how to do this. This particular spell is going to require quite a few ingredients. However, these things are going to be simple. And as usual, I try to keep the ingredients along the lines of things that you can actually access. So I didn't make it very complex. There are hundreds of ways to do marriage candle spells. There's lots of different recipes, there's lots of different ingredients, but these are the ones that I have used. I've used this exact same spell for multiple couples. Let's see, I went to a wedding last year in August. I'm officiating one next year, and I've done this, I've done this about a good dozen times, and out of that dozen times, I think we're at about 7 couples that have gotten engaged, and then there's another wedding scheduled at the end of next year that I'm going to be attending. So this is a very effective spell. Some of the ingredients that you're going to need, let me rewind. I'm going to preface this by saying this particular spell is effective when you are already in a relationship and you want to encourage or persuade a marriage. Typically, if either you and your partner have discussed marriage, or you feel like the relationship is going along those lines, or if you feel like you're in the relationship with the person and we know that this is what we want. This particular client work that I'm doing is for a couple. They were together and they separated for about 5-6 years, and they reconciled, and now she's like, hey, we've come back together after all these years. I'm not trying to date for another 5 years. We're gonna tie the knot. So that's what this is for. Okay, so what you will need is a marriage candle in the color red. Red marriage candles are to attract and to call in a proposal. White marriage candles are to bless a wedding, a marriage. So if you're already engaged, you use white. I know a lot of practitioners use white to encourage an engagement, and that's fine, but that's not what I've seen be effective for me. So you always want to use red when you're trying to persuade that proposal. You're going to need some honey. This is real organic honey, so we're not using that corn syrup or anything. We're keeping it real with natural products. You're going to need some bay leaf, and I will explain what each ingredient is for as we go along. You're going to need some deer tongue. You're going to need some orris root, some damiana, a High John the Conqueror root, some rice, some money of any denomination. I have shredded money. That's what I'm going to work with today. Some confetti. So I have these little Team Bride. Or you can use a photograph of some wedding bands, an engagement ring, or you can use actual, like if you go to maybe like Ross or TJ Maxx, if you really want to get jiggy with it, you can purchase some mock rings, wedding bands, and use that. Optional, you don't need this, but you can use a mortar and pestle to grind your herbs up. This is what I did, but you do not need it. You will also need a rose petal, or a rose and their petals, a tray to put your spell on, and an anointing oil. I'm using bewitching oil, which I made. Sorry guys, I'm gonna turn this music down a little bit. I made this bewitching oil. You could use a marriage oil if you want to. However, I find bewitching oil is a good kind of multi-purpose, so it can be used for marriage spells along with other things that you want to command. So it's totally up to you, a bewitching oil or a marriage oil, but I'm using bewitching oil because that's what I made, that's what I have on hand, and I plan on using this for other things. and I don't do a ton of marriage spells. I probably only do about 1 or 2 a month, so it didn't make any sense to make it this huge batch of marriage oil. We'll just work with the bewitching oil because it's going to work. All right, so first and foremost, you have your candle. We're gonna assume, some things I don't show on camera, but we're gonna assume that you already cleansed your candle. So I have my cauldron. I've had some incense burning. I've cleansed this candle. However, you want to cleanse your candle before you work with it. This particular incense is a road opener incense, and that's what we want to do. We want to open those roads to facilitate a marriage proposal. It's not burning anymore. As you can see, it's done. But if you were doing this, you would want to use a road opener incense. If you are in a relationship and you do want to get married, however, there may be some blockages, and then maybe you want to use a blockbuster incense. So you have your couple here. I will say, this is a male-female couple. They do make marriage candles in female-female candles and male-male candles. I don't have those on hand. They're in storage to show you. You can purchase those. The only 2 places I've seen them is on Madame Pemita's website. From what I was told, she's not making them anymore, but I have seen them. You could also try PsychicEye.com. Psychic Eye is a spiritual shop here in Los Angeles. In the Torrance location, they do have the same sex marriage candles. You can find them on Amazon. Of course, it is going to cost you a little bit more. So, you know, for sake of the video, this is what I'm working with. But if you are in a same-sex relationship, you can get candles in your gender and the gender of your partner. I have inscribed on the back of the candle the name of the people. I'm not going to show that on camera, but it is inscribed back here, the name of the individuals that I'm working on. And the first thing I'm going to start with is I'm going to anoint my candles. I always start with the anointing oil because, of course, we want to, as I make a mess, we want to put the oil on first so that the herbs and everything else is going to stick. And we just rub that through our hands. We're going to anoint from the bottom up while we're thinking or speaking our intention. If you guys weren't watching this, I would be speaking out loud. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dress this candle, then I'm going to pray over it after the video. Just for, you know, client confidentiality, but this is how you dress it. God, this smells really good. Okay, hold on, y'all. I'm about to turn. I have music in the background, and I'm just going to turn that down so I don't get too distracted, because you know, as Pisces, it's not hard for me to like end up in La La Land somewhere while I'm talking to you. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do, and there's no particular order, so don't feel like you have to do step by step, but this is the way I do it because this is what works for me and this is what makes the candles burn. I'm going to take the candle and I'm going to lay it down. I hope you guys can see this. Excuse me, I have no pants on, but hey, it's Friday, I'm at home, and this is what it is. I'm going to take my honey. I'm going to use my honey because this is going to help everything stick, and this is also, we want to sweeten this, like this couple, this woman, you know, she's really ready to move the relationship to the next step, and we want her partner to follow suit. Another reason why I use the road opener incense is because, like I said, they've talked about, when I say talked, they have talked about marriage. It's come up, but they haven't really had that full-fledged conversation. They've always said, you know, that they think that they would be great for each other. They think that they would be great for them to get married. However, it's, you know, it just hasn't gone to that point yet. And I understand, after dating someone for years and breaking up and coming back together and knowing a person for 8-9 years, it's like, what are we doing? Are we getting married or not? I don't know. That's just my opinion. She and I are very close to age, and when you're in your mid-30s, it's like, ain't nobody, we ain't got time for that. So these are the herbs that I have combined. I'm going to try to focus this camera, but these are the deer tongue. Deer tongue is a commanding herb. A lot of people know this particular herb for court case spells, but it's also very good for encouraging your partner to propose marriage or to agree to marriage. So you want to get yourself some deer tongue. The reason why it's called deer tongue is this particular herb, before it is dried, is in the shape of a deer's tongue. I don't know, all of the history behind it, but that's what I've read and that's what I've studied, and it is very effective. It works. All I can say. I have used deer tongue in multiple spells, my own personal spells. I have done this on commanding spells, and I have literally put a little bit of deer tongue on a purple candle on a honey jar for a partner, and they've called me like within a couple of hours of doing that. So deer tongue. Orris root is from what I believe, and I could be, correct me if I'm wrong, but orris root is part of the rose family. And orris root is pretty accessible, but it is a very powerful herb to work with, and it is to command, keep a partner faithful, and to attract a partner, or to just spice up your relationship. So a little bit of orris root. Damiana is for attraction and for lust and romance, love, and of course in a relationship you want to have that attraction, you want to have that love, you want to have that sexual energy, you want things to be amazing and spicy. Nobody wants a boring relationship, and when you're getting married, that should be the heighten of the relationship. It should be very fun. It should be very loving. Okay, so now now you see how I've dressed these candles, and they're just dressed down the front. I'm going to use a little bit of glitter. Glitter is great for attraction, and this is, because we're using the red candle, we don't need red glitter, and because this couple is already in a relationship, this is also going to help persuade the other partner, to agree to the marriage. So I'm a little heavy-handed when I dress candles, but look at that. Isn't that pretty? That's really pretty. Okay, so now we're going to switch the tray out. I'm going to put this on a fresh tray. This was just to prepare the candle. So now I have my candle here on a new tray, and I'm going to take this is actually fuchsia, but you use a red rose. Some people use white roses as a symbology of purity, and that's perfectly fine. But again, use what you have on hand, and this is what I had on hand. So I'm going to place these roses around the tray. And I'm just going to spread them out like so. They're so pretty. This bouquet of roses I got was so beautiful. Sometimes I feel I'm so connected to nature. Like sometimes I literally feel bad plucking the rose from its head. But at the same time, I mean, hey, it's already cut from the stem, so that's just what it is, right? This is very pretty already. And this smells... I wish I could like scratch and sniff, or I wish there was like smell-o-vision. This is already very beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to add our bay leaf, and bay leaf is for wishes to come true, and what this client wants is her wish that she gets engaged to come true. Bay leaves are also for protection, and this is very important because, we all have people in our life that love us, in quotation marks, and they love you until you say, hey, guess what? I want to get married. And then all of a sudden they tell you all the things about your partner and why you should marry them and why they don't like them. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to clients that have gotten married and they're having issues from their in-laws. Their in-laws were super nice in the beginning, and now that they're married, their in-laws don't like them and they're trying to break up their relationship. So you want to put a little protection around you, and that's what bay leaf does. One thing I forgot to mention in the beginning of the video is orange peels. These are fresh orange peels. Orange peels, actually orange does attract love, sweet love. So we're going to put a little bit of orange peel. You don't need much, I just used 3. And that's from an orange that I just peeled and I gave the offerings to Oshun. The John root is for commanding, it's for success, it's for power. And we're going to use a little bit of John root. This can be placed anywhere. I'm going to place it in front of the couple. I hope you guys, can you guys see this okay? I have other candles in front of me, so I'm working with a little bit of limited space, but I place the John root there in front. I'm then going to take my shredded money. If you don't have this, it's okay. But weddings cost money. Even if you're just going to go to City Hall or whatever they call it, it costs money. And from my experience, you know, usually one or more partners, sometimes people don't want to get married because of their financial situation, because of their credit, because whatever the reason is, there's always a because. So we're going to add a little money to this spell because you're going to need money to facilitate the wedding, and you're going to need money together to build your life. So we're going to add a little bit of shredded money. This shredded money I got when I was in Atlanta. It is so funny. I've had this forever. I got this in Atlanta maybe 5 years ago. I went down to go visit Coach Khayr, and he took me to the Federal Reserve Bank. That's a long story. It's in another video, but that's where I got this from. You can order it online. If you happen to live in a city with the Federal Reserve Bank, which I know Atlanta, I believe Berkeley, I don't know if you're on the East Coast, but you can Google it, see if there's one in your city. Shredded money is free. You go do the tour of how money is printed. And what the shredded money is, it's the notes that are not perfect. So if there's any teeny tiny imperfection on a bill, they shred it and it's not able to be circulated. It's shredded, it's bagged, and it's gifted to you as a part of visiting the museum, and you can take them. So that's kind of a way to collect this. People on Amazon, I see people selling bags of shredded money for like super crazy amounts, and I'm like, that's cool, but I got mine for free. I'm almost out, so I will be going to Atlanta to get some more. So Khayr, if you're watching, I'm coming down there. If anybody else is in Atlanta, let me know, because I'm going to be coming down there in October to collect my money. Okay, not to go off track. Little solitaire bling bling engagement rings. Again, this is just to show you an example. You don't have to use these if you don't want to. You could use bands. You could use anything you want. You could use mock bands. Got Team Bride. Might be backwards, but is that cute? I got these from, where did I get these? I got these at Michael's. I did a merit spell last year, and I bought like this huge bag, and they give you like 5,000 pieces. These things will last me forever. I don't use the little martinis that come in it. You can if you want to, but I don't. I had some other ones too I forgot to show you, but they say like love, and I do, but I don't have those. So this is what I'm going to use right now. Okay, so last but not least, and I'm just extra girly and I love glitter, so we're going to take a little bit of glitter. We're going to sparkle this up. A bonus tip, if you have the option, if you're well, it doesn't matter what gender you are, but if you are able to collect your partner's sexual juices and add them to the candle, that will aid you. For this particular spell, I don't really think, I mean, you can use whatever you want. I don't use like saliva or nails, or you can use hair. Hair is good because that's influencing, but if you are able to collect some fluid from your partner, then that would be ideal. The incense you would want to burn for this, oh, excuse me, I've got like stuff up my nose. Oh, I almost forgot the rice. Why y'all didn't remind me? Rice. And the reason why we use rice is, in some traditional weddings, rice is thrown over the bride and groom, or bride and bride, groom and groom, whoever's getting married, to finalize the ceremony, to offer protection. I think rice also symbolizes growth and unity and all those good things. So yeah, a little bit of rice. This is really pretty. I wish you guys were here. I should teach this in one of my classes that are in person, because you can't even capture how amazing this is on a video, but this is very pretty. It's so sparkly. Okay, back to what I was saying. If you can capture some essence, You can put that in there. If you are in a relationship and both of you want to get married, you've talked about it, maybe there's been some obstacles in the way, whether it's financial obstacles, whether it's emotional obstacles, whatever it is, this is something you can do together as a couple. So this doesn't necessarily mean you have to do this to force anybody. This isn't necessarily to force someone. This is to already bring what's there to make it come into existence. Yes, this does work if one partner wants to attract the marriage proposal, or if both partners. But this is a highly effective spell. It's very simple. All of these ingredients you can find at your local grocery store. Again, as you see, this took me as long as it took to shoot this video to prepare this candle. What you'd want to do with this is recite your words of intentions, words of power. If there's specific prayers you want to pray over this, you can definitely do that. What you will do is you will light this and you will allow this to burn completely down. So what I mean by that is this is not a candle spell that you're going to drag out for 7 days, 2 weeks, a moon cycle, none of that. You're going to do this on a Friday night of a full moon or a waxing moon. You're going to state your petition. You can write a petition if you want to, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the photos of the couple under these candles. I'm going to place them under here. You can write a petition, print your photo, and put it under here, or you can inscribe on the candle exactly what you want. And this is pretty straight to the point. Marry me, propose, buy ring, whatever it is that you want. You're going to allow this to burn down in one setting. This candle, again, depending on the energy surrounding the couple and how this is prepared, if you prepare the candle like this and there's no obstacles, this should burn down in about 2 to 3 hours. Maybe longer, maybe less. It all depends. What you're going to do with the remains, you're going to take this and leave it on the property of a church. Okay? On the property of a church. It does not matter what kind of church it is. It doesn't matter if you don't believe in church. It doesn't matter if you ain't set foot in a church in 20 years. It don't matter. Churches, some churches. So I'll put it this way. There's a church by my house and there's always weddings. There's like weddings and quinceañeras and sweet 16s. There's always weddings. Like I'll go by there on a Saturday and there's always a wedding going on there. It's a Catholic church. Obviously, I'm not Catholic, I'm a witch. But my point is, that is a place where love happens. Typically, churches host wedding ceremonies. So you would leave this, like I'm going to take this and I'm going to wrap it up. You could throw the whole, no, I'm not going to say throw, but you could place the whole tray if you want, but you don't really want people in your business. I have I bought this pink little square fabric from Joann's tonight. I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to stick it in the bushes. I'm going to take it, when this is done, I'm going to take it sometime, I don't know, maybe around 5 in the morning. Nobody's going to be out. Hop out my car, pop it in the bushes, say your blessing, and walk away. I don't care what happens to it afterwards. I'm not worried if anybody finds it. The spell is done. But I'm going to leave it on the grounds of where weddings are conducted because she wants to get married, so why not put it in the place where that happens? So a church would be good. Don't take it to a church that's like dead or not open, or you see a bunch of funerals happening. Like, leave it someplace where you see happiness. If you do not have that option, take it out and leave it in nature by a tree. It can be buried, and yeah, this is, I got this from Dollar Tree. This is a pretty big tray, but you can take the wax remains up, wrap it up, and bury it. And the reason why you bury it in nature is because when you bury things into the earth, that symbolizes growth, and we want to grow towards elevating to a new level in a relationship. So bury it, take it to a church. That's pretty much the only 2 ways. So please don't inbox me saying, can I stick it under my mattress? Can I put it in the backyard? No. Take it to a church, bury it in nature. That's how you dispose of it. So here we are. A beautiful marriage candle. I know some of you guys are putting posts and asking questions. I will go back through and I will answer those. I can't do it right now because I can't see them. I'm going to take this over to my love altar that I showed you earlier. I'm going to pray over this. I'm going to light it. I will put up photos tomorrow of it burning, and when it is, once it's done, Where are we? It's barely after midnight, so like I said, it's gonna be a long night, but I'm gonna finish this tonight, take care of this for this client, send her photos. This is a beautiful ritual. It is very effective. I have done this at least a dozen times. A good half of my clients are already engaged or married, like the one that I'm going to see in a couple of months. If you have any questions, if you want this service performed for you, you can book a consultation through my website at oneritualaway.com. The reason that I show you guys this is because I show you how easy this can be and how you can do this yourself. However, I do offer this as a service, and I'm more than happy to work with you. So, happy manifesting, getting married, all those good things. I love love, and I love love spells. And it's one of my specialties. So if you need help, or if you just have some questions or want to be walked through how to do this or customize this, maybe there are some things in your relationship that you might want to tweak a little bit differently, book a consultation. I'm happy to work with you. And happy Friday, happy witching, and happy marriage. All right, you guys, I love you so much. Thank you for watching Mystic at the Crossroads, and I will talk to y'all tomorrow. Good night.